Good morning, dear friends. We're starting our Sunday webinar in our studios, Dr. Michael Laitman.
Good day.
Michael Sinilevich, Boris Zarkovsky. I'm Simeon Vinokur. I'm the instructor of World Kabbalah Academy. We have translations in 20 languages. We have a lot of groups connected to us. We see a lot of you friends. Our topic today is self-awareness and as the basis of inner work.
All right, it's what you chose.
And Jay from Minsk is asking right away, so Zohar is saying that all worlds, upper and lower, are inside a person. To understand oneself, does it mean that everything is inside me?
Yes, indeed. Everything is indeed man. Everything is indeed man. Outside of man there is nothing. And everything we reveal is within man. But what we say man, what we call man, isn't this flesh and bone that's in me, but the system that's revealed in us, in our corrected desire.
So when we say that self-understanding, self-awareness, what do you put inside of that?
When I attain, who am I? What am I? And then I begin to discover that, in truth, I include in me all of the world that it seems to exist outside of me. But in reality, it's all inside me, and there's nothing else besides that.
But a person needs to attain this, or is this something we can talk through?
Oh, of course, he needs to attain it. As Kabbalists attain it, and it only comes from attainment. We're maybe talking about it, philosophizing, speculating, but they're speaking from attainment. Attainment is a sensation with all of its causal relationships. That's what we mean when we say attainment.
What if we don't speak a lot about attainment?
Self-attainment, right, it's when a person attains himself, he attains the whole world at the same time.
Georgi from Odessa is asking, what does it mean to attain something?
Attainment is a kind of self-correction when all, well, maybe not all, but certain qualities of the Creator are embodied in you.
You're
asking me for a specific definition, so I'm giving you specific answers, nothing more, nothing less. Let's continue.
Sveta from Moscow is asking, I read the book Shamati, and how do we advance in the steps of attainment? That Creator is my shadow. Can I see something in that?
Yes, the Creator is my shadow means that everything that's done in the Creator is in reality his shadow, meaning his reflection. And man is the reflection of the Creator. Meaning, as the Creator moves, man mirrors those movements.
In the process of attainment, according to Kabbalah, what do you reveal in the beginning and what do you reveal in the end?
The process of attainment, in the beginning, what's revealed is that everything that is created has been created for man, for him to attain the Creator's qualities and manifestations. And this, herein lies his purpose, to reveal the Creator's actions within him. That's in the beginning and the end, when in the end it's revealed that you have corrected yourself fully so that all of the Creator's actions are done in you in complete unison with you.
So can we say that first you attain that there's none else besides him, and then you say that he's good who does good? Can we say it like that?
You can say that too, but both these things mix together in all the degrees.
Nothing exists separately. Question from Riga. How much do you need to come to sense this program that governs?
Understanding the program of governance means that you are in connection, you're in contact with this system, with this program, and to the extent of your consent, this program manifests in you.
So you must understand what's happening.
Not only understand, but comprehend it to such a deep extent that you yourself begin to actualize it. It's not that you understand it and allow it to manifest in you, but you yourself activate it. You're as if...
Grow in yourself?
No, it's like in a computer. You put it in you, and it begins to function in you, then you calibrate yourself towards it, so you become an active element.
Is it more an intimate or a process of feeling? Or a process
at the same time?
What depends on a person and what does not depend on a person in the process of self-attainment?
Everything depends on the person. The Creator doesn't do anything until the person consents to it and starts wanting it and demanding it. For instance, to install this new program and to keep doing these updates, the person needs to demand these things.
How does the level of attainment influence the quality of life to the extent in which person is happy or not happy?
Happiness is a relative concept. What does it mean that a person is happy? If he's disconnected from all reality and feels only the fulfillment of his body, he can be happy just by drinking a liter of vodka, smoking a pack of cigarettes. What does it mean to be happy? It depends on the level of the person, what is happiness for him, and follows that.
During the process of attainment, what does it mean, true happiness?
When a person begins to realize that Creator acts within him and he works within the Creator, that's happiness.
You said that a person is not just a meat bag. What is a person? His emotions, feelings, its intentions, desires, brain? Or is it all together, all those things? Can you give a definition?
Man or human is what's in me, in my thoughts, in my feelings, in my head, you could say, is what solidifies with the Creator. That part within me is called human, man, Adam, from the word similar.
And everything that I named, what is that?
That's not Adam, that's the animal.
So feelings, emotions.
Everything in us that we have, other than what becomes one with the Creator, is the body of the animal.
What does it mean to become like the Creator?
To be in the quality of bestowal like Him.
Just to finish with the terminology, how is the self-attainment connected to self-awareness?
Man attains himself only to the extent that he knows the program of creation, meaning he's included in the Creator, and the Creator is included in him. When they're together, when they're in a kind of... Creator is in man's material, and man is in this state, together with him. And here, a person feels fully that he is actualizing this program of creation, and he is in adhesion with the Creator. This part within the person is called man, human, Adam.
During my reading Kabbalistic books, I am influenced by upper light. Is that, how sufficient is that? in order to come from animal qualities to spiritual ones.
That's not enough, not sufficient. You need to fulfill Kabbalah's recommendations with respect to work in a group. You cannot escape this. You have to have contact with others. No matter how difficult it is, it's absolutely necessary.
What does a person receive on the path of self-attainment first?
The first thing that a person attains or reveals towards on this path of self-attainment is that the Creator governs him with a good and evil force. He governs man with two reins, and he pushes him away and brings him forward. But both the good and evil come from the Creator, and to the extent that he can justify the evil, he feels that it all comes from him.
Yeah, that's progress. What are the states of realizing the evil inside a person? One more time.
One more time.
What role during the process of self-attainment is the role of egoism, of evil?
To the extent that you feel that the Creator governs it, you will begin to realize, see it from the other side, that it's coming from the Creator and He is governing you in this way.
And he's also asking if there are stages in revelation of evil.
Yes, these are 125 degrees of the ego's correction.
So these things exist on each step in the advancement.
Only above the ego. The ego doesn't get erased. It's still there, but we rise above it.
Our difficulties in our life influence our self-awareness.
Difficulties in our lives, they determine our advancement, our attainment.
The more I step on my ego, the more I try to be aware in bestowal, the worse things turn out to be. How can I?
Don't try to fight the ego. We're way too weak for it, and it's impossible. The ego mustn't be battled. It must be positioned correctly. It comes from the Creator, and all we can do is something very simple. Connect it to the Creator.
What's inner work in Kabbalah?
Inner work is the work that happens in our innermost part, in the desires.
What happens there?
When we connect these desires to the Creator.
What is this action? Is this something that a person can do on his own?
Yes, on his own. I try to connect myself with the upper governance in such a way so as to clearly understand that it's the Creator governing me thus, with two reins, the right and the left. From the one side, he increases the problems, increases the ego, and from the other side, he supports me and helps me.
And the understanding of all of this is inner work, to understand what he wants from me?
Yes, and my job in between these two reins of the upper governance, I need to position myself to always be in contact with the Creator, both when His governance is bad, as if bad, and when it's good.
So can we say that to justify the Creator is inner work?
Yes.
Inner work on myself. It doesn't depend on sex, color of my skin, nationality. So why do different aspects of the soul clothe themselves in people of different genders, different skin colors, different cultures, and so on?
That has to do with, how do I put this? More to corporeal degrees of advancement, but nothing beyond that. I have students from every corner of the world, from all over the globe. And initially, There may seem it may seem like they are divided. Mainly, it's the languages. This is the curse of Babylon that still haunts us. But beyond that, nothing.
Yeah, we had an interview recently. We had 15 people from the Philippines who started to study with us. And he speaks our language, everything's understood. A question from Tomsk. To what extent is the external and the inner world really depends on me and depends on humanity?
The external world, what?
The external and internal world really depends on me and depends on humanity. To what extent?
To what extent? To the extent that I connect it and position it with the Creator, and I see that this external world is a projection of my inner state. There is no external world. I see myself. All my qualities. Imagine all the different qualities that are in me. All the people in the world. What's happening with them, with each and every one of them. And it's all within me. It's a nightmare, isn't it? And I need to bring all of it to this general unification, for it to become an element of my soul, for it to unite into a single whole, for all people to become a single whole, and for all of them to start doing only one thing, connecting together, integrating together, so as to become a vessel for the Creator's revelation, meaning the quality of love and bestowal in which we would attain the next higher degrees of our existence. So imagine to yourself that all this universe, the inanimate, vegetative, animate, and human parts of it, they're all parts of your soul. As a result of the breaking, Evgeny from Tolyatti asks, I want to say to you that I agree with you fully, even though it took me 7 years to get there. Should I write my own Torah to be similar to you?
I don't know. Here I really don't know what to say. There are people who really write well, and I would recommend to you not to write the Torah or something along the lines. Some big, as they say, as they call any big fat book, a Talmud. I recommend to you to write small pieces that are easy to read, because with every passing year, people are first looking at the size of the article. If it's 10 lines, they will not read it. If it's 5 lines, they will read it. And maybe in another 10 years, maybe they'll only read 2 lines, or maybe just 1 line, just 1 sentence. So if you have such a quality to write concisely, but in an understandable way and with feeling, then please write. And these big Torahs and Talmuds, don't write them. Nobody needs them. I haven't done this in a long while.
Maybe what he meant was, it is said that everyone needs to write on the tablets of his heart. Like maybe write a note on the tablets of his heart?
Yes, he should write like they do in Twitter.
All right, now from Poznan I have a question. Is it correct to state that the method of Kabbalah allows a person to find his determination by sorting his thoughts and desires?
You can do it, and don't even think about it. Don't think that you're so developed that you can sort desires, thoughts. No way. The only thing that you can do is to let the light, the upper light, to conduct this work. For this, you need to relax on the inside, on the level of your soul, of your spirit, and you need to let the light do its work. You need to agree with the work that it does. You need to let it. You need to feel its influence on you.
Tell us, in Kabbalah, what are these states with a conscious or subconscious existence? What does it mean?
I don't know this terminology in Kabbalah.
That's more to Freud, I guess.
Yeah, it's Freud, but he wasn't a Kabbalist.
Well, a person is alive, right? But I understand that 90% of everything that happens, it happens like below my level of consciousness. I just subconsciously react, but only perceive a tiny bit of it. Does this exist in Kabbalah?
In Kabbalah, there are different actions that you can perform, to which we come instinctively. These exercises that we do let us create such circumstances where we're able to let the light and the Creator to act inside of us, so that we'd be able to become more aware of its influence on us. This inner voice of the Creator, that's what we must catch. These are special states. They typically come when I am properly focused in the group.
Can you say that a spiritual world is when nothing is ever subconscious? I'm always doing efforts. Everything is conscious.
No, you can apply efforts, but the process of going from one state to another state, it's not part of your efforts.
So in the spiritual, it's just like in this world, some things are conscious level, and some things are on an unconscious level.
Well, let's say that, sure.
All right, so close to that question, similar to that. A sensation is when you feel that entire causal sequence, and it brings you joy, it brings you tranquility.
It depends what calmness, and it depends what you get pleasure from. If you lock a person somewhere in the room or in jail, you think it's pleasure. It could be calm, but what of that? Calmness is when a person reaches his peak of his realization, and he can be climbing mountains and doing different things. But that's what it means that he's in a state of calmness, and it means that I'm in the process of getting to what I'm aspiring to. I'm on the path to aspire to my path.
We have an advanced question. What can be attributed to self-attainment of a person if there is no person himself?
When a person reveals a creature inside of him, the true Adam, that's what it means. He's revealing the Creator, to attain the similarity to the qualities of the Creator.
I've actually just caught myself that if there is a question that's like one sentence, one line, I read it. If it's a question that's like 5 lines, I don't even
and that's how
read it
we need to
anymore.
approach what we do with our dissemination.
All right, so a short question then. What depends on a person's advancement in the spiritual path?
When I connect with my friends and in that I attract the upper light, it gives me the opportunity to ascend.
Of all the, I remember like one line that out of all the arts, it's the film that's most important. Right, so I think it's important to add the right line at the right time. Okay, we have a question now. We're dependent on the ego, independent of the ego, but dependent on the Creator. Freedom of will, does that have to do with Him and to watch His governance?
Yes,
is this freedom of will?
Yes, that's beautiful. He has said it correctly. If I feel how the Creator is governing me in that state, I'm able to feel at the same time a great spiritual pleasure, fulfillment. There's really nothing better, nothing more pleasant than feeling that the Creator is in you and He's governing you.
That's the meaning of tranquility?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. When it happens together at the same time, both in feeling and in your mind, and when you reveal the trueness of the state, you are completely connected to the whole system. You attain the upper harmony.
From Moscow, we have a question. How can you catch the Creator's inner voice in you?
The best way to catch this inner voice of the Creator inside of you, it's when I connect with my friends and when we prepare between us such relationships where He will reveal this inner voice inside of us. It's the sensor of feeling the Creator is our unity.
Should be some sensation. Like, how do you determine that it's the Creator's voice and not the ego's?
Oh, when this happens, a person sees it. And in addition to that, when he sees this revelation of the Creator, this manifestation of the Creator, he sees that this is the revelation of the Creator and his egoistic qualities, but this only pushes him forward.
What precisely in this process of self-attainment do I attain? Like some understanding of what I am, or what is it exactly?
The I of a person the eye of a person is how the Creator clothes himself in it. When the Creator clothes inside a person, that's what it's called I.
And when we say things like, when we talk about me, something relates to me.
What do you connect this to? To your own egoism? That doesn't exist in the spiritual world. It means that there is no I.
What is I in the spiritual?
I in the spirituality is how I'm similar to the Creator.
Is there I or is there only we?
No, there's a problem in the fact that all of the world is I. All of the creation is I. So when I connect with my friends, I reveal my true I.
I will dare to read a few lines. You say that there is nothing exists outside man, that all reality happens within man. I don't see anything in this world aside from myself, and everything surrounds me. Now I have questions. Question 1. What is the dialogue between the external upper worlds and man?
Humanity, it's an egoistic mass that desires in every moment in time to get egoistic fulfillment. And with the method of two opposite influences where I give and take, with these efforts of start and stop, and then how it influences the humanity, it develops into different directions, in different sensations, directions, and so on. In order to give it the greatest ability to sense the Creator. And for now, the Creator is in turmoils.
That is the dialogue that we're talking about?
What dialogue? There are no dialogues here. This is automatic. When you're influencing a desire, you know automatically it's a result. From above, there's really no secrets. You know ahead of time that if I act in such a way, this is going to be the result. If I do this, this is the result. So what do I need to do in order to really get the humanity to go through millions and millions of years of development, in order for it to begin to gradually understand that it's getting excited in a way to bring it to a certain reaction?
The same person continues. Second question. To what extent are one's past affect this dialogue between ourselves and the upper worlds?
All of this is leveled one on top of the other. So there's no paleontology, no history. You don't need any of that. We simply need to know how do we, in each given moment in time, how can we define the creator through the group.
The last question, is there a hierarchy of people initiated into Kabbalah to the level of their initiation, and how is the corporeal initiation relate to their attainment?
No, there's nothing like it. Everything depends on the person here and on the creator's influence upon him. I would say that there's
no
hierarchy, and it couldn't be, because everything is connected in this overall general circle, because this globe, it's a perfect form. And although the attainment looks to be a pyramid, but it all connects into a circle. But this is something we discover in the process of correction. So that's why the hierarchy nonetheless exists of Kabbalists, but it's a complex system. It's not a hierarchy of Adam to our days, from up towards bottom and so on, because in each moment a special soul, a necessary soul can appear that will help the humanity to advance in a certain style, like Ari, for example, Rabbi Shimon. So that's why we can't really say that the time of appearance can really explain what the level of the soul is. Are there any ways to say when the person can begin to do inner work, or is this something that we can say is verbal Torah?
This inner work is described in our books. At what point should they begin? At the point that they can begin, when they can start studying. What else can you do?
Well, we can first tell the person about Kabbalah.
First, you talk about Kabbalah, yes. People go into history, geography, etc. Whatever they can understand, something they can grab onto. How they can adapt, connect to Kabbalah. That's why they are interested in these external attributes of Kabbalah, of study, who was where and how. This Kabbalist was this place, that place. They're interested in something that they can connect to. And then they go deeper and deeper internally, and they abandon all these external stuff, and they become interested in the method.
So, in essence, you can teach a person about inner work from the very beginning.
Yes, to the extent that he can study, of course. But initially, we need to use, we need to draw him with whatever he's interested in, history, geography, and so on.
What does this mean, that this inner voice that speaks inside all of us gives us advice, some sort of intuition? What is it?
It's intuition, nothing
Has nothing
else.
to do with the Creator?
No, neither to the Creator nor to the soul.
But we say that there's none else besides Him. What is it?
But you divide it into your spiritual and corporeal, your animal component. So it has nothing to do with the spiritual component. Don't think that it's the soul speaking in you.
To maintain the constant connection to the Creator, is this something that I come to, or is this...
It's a constant effort that we try to be in, but naturally we cannot be in it always. The Creator severs these efforts and instead of them gives us different pictures of the world. And we once again return to reveal the Creator in them, and it constantly repeats. Exit and entrance, exit and entrance.
Can this become a...
It doesn't become a habit, it becomes necessity.
Is there a question from a soldier? Is it possible to get your military goal in life?
The combat goal is to destroy oneself.
Another question from Netherlands. Egoism is the evil root. Is that the same thing?
The ego and the evil inclination are one and the same, only if a person understands what that is, because it's not revealed. The ego that is currently revealing in us, it's on the level of an animal, a small child. That's not the ego we're talking about. The ego we mean here, it's what's revealed all the way through the world of infinity.
So what do we need to correct?
That's what we need to correct. What we have here now, that's nothing. You can do whatever you want with it.
So when a person turns to all the humanity, even Baal Salam wrote 100 years ago that all the people must become like one family.
Yes, but as this happens, you reveal such great contradictions between yourself and the others that here you do need to work to connect the right and the left, and that's spiritual work. But what we have here now, today, that's not spiritual.
But what about this ego that we want to use one another, we kill, we steal?
No, that's all nonsense.
And we do this throughout the whole history. That's not the same egoism?
That's not the same ego.
What is it given for then?
So that we understand that we need to rise above it. It's only meant to push us into the spiritual space. And there we have two parallels, the egoistic and the altruistic. They're moving forward like lines, and we need to work between them.
Can you give an example of egoistic action in spiritual? What can it be?
An example would be when I cling to hatred, to care, to fear, and at the same time disconnect from the Creator, from the right line, let's say.
So to betray the Creator?
To exchange the Creator for the right line.
So that's what is called ego.
Yes.
So the upper state is a completely corrected person. What is that person's mission and the way to relate to all the people in the rest of the world?
To show them that it's possible to make this correction, and to actually do it, to bring the world to the correction.
How do we perform this operation on ourselves, to relax inside, to agree with what's happening? How do you manage to do this interaction?
With serious inner work, to always try to process our materials within, to take every opportunity to be immersed only in them. Everything else will come.
Наталья из Киева слушает все, что мы сегодня говорили, и говорит, я запуталась. То что такое я?
Question, I'm confusing. What does it mean, I? Is it is a degree of a creator's revelation to a person, or something else?
I is what speaks within me right now. Don't start getting too imaginative about the Creator speaking within you or anything. No. What you feel right now, what you think, that's you. But your real you is the point that will become one with the Creator and love and bestowal. That's something we need to attain.
Well, if I don't have to correct anything, our human egoism, this revelation of my qualities, my desires,
leave them alone. Leave them alone. They're animal qualities and desires. They don't harm anyone.
But they harm others.
They don't harm anyone. Start aiming yourself towards the Creator, towards achieving unity with the Creator, and everything will be fine.
Can you describe a person who went through a lot of degrees of attainment? How does a person live? Can you describe his life?
He gets up in the morning, he goes to brush his teeth, goes to the bathroom, puts his clothes on. What do you want me to say?
But he'll already passed through all the degrees of attainment. Maybe he does something special.
What's special about him? His inner world. What can you say about that? That's his inner world. You're not gonna say anything else. You can't say anything else. You can't see anything externally.
And he behaves like all the other people. Does he see any any hidden forces.
He lives with them.
So he looks at other people and he sees that behind them there are some forces, like vectors who,
Yes.
like in the computer, they control them. I'm trying to understand.
It doesn't matter. He sees how the Creator governs all
Does
these
he see
things.
the causes, the roots of everything that happens?
He sees the causes of everything that happens, yes. And it all depends on the degree that he's on. If he's on the 50th degree out of 125th, a lot of things are still concealed from him. The Creator's full governance is not yet revealed.
And behind all the people, he sees the Creator.
Yes, behind all people, absolutely all people.
So when he does an action, or when he sees other people do some action, whether it's good or bad, he sees the Creator behind them.
Yes, he sees it's the Creator and not man.
Does he have to apply an effort to see the Creator, or is this, or he doesn't have to make an effort? This is constant effort.
Efforts. And
What about the previous Creator? Maybe he can see, because each time he sees a new Creator on a new degree.
yes, the Creator is different each time. It gets bigger and bigger.
How can a woman be like Malchut in one line?
For a woman to be like Malchut, she needs to be just like a man. Only work towards unity. Collaborate towards unity. Malchut is the part of Partsuf that unites everything.
So you like this one-liner?
Если все мысли и действия к этим
Yes.
мыслям от Творца, то в чем моя роль? И как мне
If all my thoughts and actions are towards the Creator, and that's my goal, how do I not get on the Creator's way to do His work?
Unite with Him, be in solidarity with all His solid actions in advance. My entire life is built on me calibrating myself to constant revelation of the Creator, no matter how or where it would be.
That's my role, and how do I not bother Him?
You're not harming, you're not getting in the way, you're allowing Him to reveal inside you, and this brings pleasure.
Question, can it be so that everything's predetermined in the person's life, and the best thing that he can do is just not to pay too much attention to it?
You can not worry about it, but then you become absolutely passive, and you don't. Nothing is started on you.
So you're not going to freeze or anything.
Right. You will still need to, either in this life, in this incarnation or next incarnation, you're going to need to achieve full solidarity with the Creator's actions within you.
So this thought has to go away, come back, go away, come back.
It's constantly self-perfecting.
Another question, how do I come out of the state of constant analysis of my actions?
But why? It's just the contrary. This is all
So
necessary.
constantly I analyze everything.
Yeah, just connected to the Creator. He's acting towards me, I'm acting towards him, and we're working in these two lines.
So what does this mean? Who am I?
And who are you?
And who are you?
Who am I? I am the desire to receive pleasure, to enjoy. That's why I feel positive or negative influences upon me. They're subjective to me, of course. They may seem to me they're positive or negative, but thanks to them, I develop from me a certain reaction towards the source of these influences, whether positive or negative, as I feel them. I want to recognize the source. I want to rise above my positive and negative sensations in order to connect to the source no matter how I perceive his influence over me.
Alexei from Köln is asking, I don't understand. Why is it that the strongest sensation of a person inside cannot influence a person on externally, on his external actions, behaviors?
It can influence a person, it can make a person even worse. He's not going to be better. Meaning, he will gradually get better, but it won't be right away. It will take time. It takes time over decades of years.
And this is precisely what's expected. A person begins to study spirituality, and everybody from him begins to expect some more altruistic behavior from him, and he begins to study more, and the opposite happens. And it's very difficult for those around him.
So it's difficult. What can you do? I'm not concealing this, of course. The ego grows. You have these great schisms appear within these contradicting opposing states, inability to reconcile them in the mind and the heart. And sometimes a person just loses it. He feels that he is not in control of himself. He seems to be like losing his ground, feeling all sorts of things, like he's not really in control, that something is controlling him in a very clear, vague way. We don't hide it.
I'm ready, Rav, I'm ready to scare people. If someone is scared, they can go away. Then maybe he can go through a few more problems in his life, and he can come to Kabbalah again without being afraid, without having this fear.
We have a question here who's not afraid. Is it more difficult for men or women to ascend the spiritual degrees?
It's such a different perception of the world, of the Creator, for men and for women. So for me, it's difficult for me to express this in words. If someone asks me, I wouldn't be able to formulate this. But you can't compare this. You can't. There are a lot of qualities in women which I am really envious of. I wish I had them. And but the opposite also. The men are obviously envious of specific characteristics, qualities of men that they don't have. But in reality, when we attain a greater degree of unity amongst us, it connects more together. It balances itself, and we attain a common soul.
Going back to behavior, we have a question from Berlin. How do you make sure that you calibrate the right reaction from you and not the natural animal
When
reaction?
you're going to be fully spiritual, you're going to express spiritual reactions. And up until then, you're going to be who you are right now.
He wants to be in control of himself.
Oh, that's silliness. Nobody controls them. Nobody has control of them except the Creator.
Does fear help with self-attainment?
It's a special form of our inner existence, living with fear, because egoism, our desire to receive pleasure, it only senses either emptiness or fulfillment. Fear or freedom from it, and nothing else. That's why fear is the most natural form of existence for egoism. There are more than 800 types of fear.
How does it help to attain oneself, one's nature?
Because everything that we attain in fear.
So you can say that fear is the ego's main quality, and through fear we study oneself?
Right.
What about all these fearless people?
No, these are crazy people who are machines who are like completely not capable of anything. It's something that's invented.
Is there a method in Kabbalah how to rise above fear?
Well, of course, this is to create this greatness of the Creator that would let me ascend, let me rise above my fear, and this fear would constantly, in the left line, push me forward, and I would ascend in the right line. This is something that pushes me forward.
So rising above the ego is rising above fear?
That's
Basically how you cure yourself from fears.
Yes, and in each moment in life when a person feels, has a sensation of himself, he has a sensation of fear. We don't consciously notice this, but this is the revelation of fear. What's happening with me in each moment in time? What's happening in this inner or outward states? I have to become. I have to go and hide somewhere. Everything is balanced on this understanding and revelation of fear.
And this uncomfortable state, it can be balanced with the connection with the Creator.
Yeah, the Creator, the screen, and the surrounding light.
Humanity is currently, people are making a lot of money to help people rise above fear or escape fear with all these antidepressants. So throughout time, though, the sphere is only increasing, it's only growing,
yes,
right?
A person really is going through an amazing period right now when we're able to connect with one another through virtual systems, and this is only going to grow and increase right now. A person is going to have more and more problems and fears, restlessness, and all other sensations, because people are connected more and more into one another through all these nets, systems, and this is how we.
Each brings their own
each
fear.
person. This is how we can excite more fears inside one another.
What is the difference, or is there a difference between fear and trepidation?
Trepidation is fear not for myself, but for the Creator. That's trepidation.
When we say Jerusalem, we say Rashlimat, total fear.
This is
what
the
is that?
degree of Binah that reaches complete Keter.
What are the different types of fear?
You can't even list it all. When Malchut connects to all its possibilities and all the 9 Sfirot, it births a whole lot of fears, primary, secondary. Each sensation of possible lack of fulfillment is called a fear.
Fear that I wouldn't be able to justify him, or what?
I'm speaking not about fear, about the trepidation, but this is about fear, animal fears.
So no longer for me, but for him.
Will I be able to fulfill myself?
But can I can use it through, I can't use it directly towards other people, towards humanity.
Through upper system, to the extent that in which you're able to connect, to express yourself through other people, you're able to fulfill the Creator.
So contact with him is always through another person.
It really can't be otherwise, because he exists in the entire system.
Question from Zurich: what is the most widespread common mistake in the process of self-attainment?
A person attains himself only when he attains the Creator. And attaining the Creator works as this self-reflection, so to speak. That's why he is called Adam, to the degree of similarity of qualities of the Creator and how I see myself in this mirror of the Creator.
Question from St. Petersburg. Dear teacher, we have the Congress before us. I have this tremendous trepidation. Am I going to be, I feel like I'm going to be torn, fall apart before the Congress.
Breathe deeper.
I'll go into the Congress, and I'm very much looking forward to meeting you. How do I best prepare? And
I think years of study really don't make any difference here, although Baruch Salam in his book of introduction to the Book of Zohar, he says that at the minimum you need 5 years, but I think that even while making all of our efforts today, I think you can't really do this by doing this for at least 10-15 years, because this is a tremendous degree of corrections that the person must do inside.
Well, time is growing shorter, right? It's constricting.
And when Baruch Salam wrote about 20 and 30 years, today I think it's reducing.
I have a question. Hello. To know oneself, to attain oneself, means to come to understand that all of the things that we see around us, all nature, all of the people, they're me. And it's up to me to understand, to realize that it's the Creator, that it's only the upper light. And that brings me fear.
No, he didn't say this correctly. I exist, and I only have to find myself. I exist in this eternity, in perfection, and the Creator together with Him, in similarity to Him. You and I and all of us, we're all connected into this system. But to say that there's nothing, none of this exists, and I'm not here, we're all here, we all exist, we're eternal creatures, we just have to find the state of ours. This is why we are here, this is why we exist here in this lowest of and dirtiest of states in this world.
A question from Moscow. Are people brought into Kabbalah with a powerful left line? I'm already harsh. Like, where else, how else am I going to develop and become even more harsh?
Don't be harsh. You should relax. You should let the upper governance be the guide. That's first. Two, completely different people come to Kabbalah with strong-willed, weak-willed, different. Doesn't matter. People who are smart, not so smart, all people will have to come to it and to realize themselves in it. So there's no preference here. Each person who receives a nudge towards attainment of the Creator means that it's his place in line in the general system when he needs to realize himself. And there's nothing to do with this. Try to do this, because this general system, it all works in its development. And if many of these cogs, the line of your cog has come, then try to move with unison with all the other pieces, in conjunction with everyone else. Try to come to this in the group. Try to come to this equilibrium, correct state in the group, and you'll see to what extent inside of you you begin to reveal this force, which is called the Creator, which sustains this whole mechanism inside of it.
Question: from the standpoint of spiritual work, what is the right kind of union between man and woman? What does it look like?
I wouldn't focus on the union of men and women, because it's not a very easy thing. Try to work in the union in the group, women in the women's group, men in the men's group, and then you will understand how to work with yourself, then you can begin working one amongst each other.
A question from Kiev. What intention should one have on watching the webinar for the best advancement?
What intention? The intention that we're all connecting together. We're speaking for an hour, and during this hour you're receiving a whole lot of information, feelings, scientific and technical information, technical, Kabbalistic. And if all of this enters you, because you are open to me, this is our lesson. And beyond it is your work, when you will try to realize all of this inside your group. And after that, at the Congress, in 1 week, I'm waiting all of you, either in person or virtually. We're all going to do this. The Congress will have tremendous strength because it's many, many people around the world together who will do the same, who will study the same topic, and we've prepared for it. Don't miss this opportunity to make this tremendous spiritual jump.
One small announcement on Rostov-on-Don. There will be a series of meetings, campus. And then indeed, we have a Congress coming up from February 20th to the 22nd. Come, and we're all waiting for you. Take care.
Bye.